Hello, Miss Stutz here, and today we are going to be talking about volume of solids, or what can also be called composite figures. And so this is kind of those practice problems that we're going to start with whenever we've understood what a composite figure is. And so what a composite figure is, or a solid, it is a 3D shape made up of multiple rectangular prisms. So you can see here we've got this full composite shape here, this whole solid, but what we're going to do is we're going to separate this solid into rectangular prisms. And so first what we want to do is we want to just label or make it obvious which ones we are going to separate off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the students go ahead and highlight one of the rectangular prisms. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of envision both of these rectangular prisms just spreading apart, right? And so to find the volume of this whole shape altogether, we first have to find the volume of this one, and then we also have to find the volume of this one. And so something that's easiest for me is just to label, and I'm going to say that this one is A, and this one over here is my rectangular prism B. And so for A, I will figure out over on the side. So what we want to do is we want to figure out volume is, let's go ahead and write our volume formula. Volume equals length times width times height. Okay, so for shape A, we first need to figure out, well, what is our length? All right, what is our width? We're just going to go diagonal from front to back. So our length here is 3. Our width is also 1, 2, 3. And then our height here is 2. So let's plug those into our formula. And so I have 3 times 3 times 2. Okay, we're going to continue on just figuring out what our answer is. 3 times 3 is 9. We want to bring down that times 2. And so 9 times 2 equals 18. So our area, or not our area, our volume of shape A is 18 cubic units. And then we want to find our volume for shape B. So for shape B, I'm also going to be looking at, and again, just imagine that these two are kind of cut in half. Okay, so imagine it's right there. We've got our one here and our other one here. So for shape B, same thing. We want to find our length, which is 3 across. And then we want to do our width, which is 1, 2, 3. So 3 times 3. And then our height here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and we'll plug that in as well. So now that we have our length, width, and height, we are going to figure this out here. We have 3 times 3, which is 9. Bring down that times 6. 9 times 6 equals 54. So now that we have the volume of both shape A and shape B, okay, we've got both of our answers here. Now to figure out the volume of the entire shape altogether, we simply just add these two volumes together. So we have 18 plus 54. All right. Some of the students might feel better if we added it vertically. Okay, so 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And so our answer is 72. So our volume of this total shape here, this total solid or composite figure, is 72 cubic units. All right, very good. And so we would do the same thing down here, just this one does not have those blocks that we can easily count, but it does have the measurements listed. And so for this one, again, we are going to separate this whole composite figure into 2 rectangular prisms. We could also do 3 if we wanted to, but I just find it to be easier just sticking with 2. And so the one that I kind of see right away is just separating it right across here. Okay, so I have my one rectangular prism and my other rectangular prism. I tell the students it's really important that when we're separating these shapes, that we separate them into nice rectangular prisms. So we want it to look like a box. We don't want it to look kind of oblong or kind of weird, you know. So we want it to be a nice box and then another nice box or rectangular prism. And so just to kind of give another visual effect, I find that some of the students are having a tough time visualizing that these are 2 separate ones to find volume for, and then we add them together. I'm just going to add some highlight on top. just to kind of, again, show that this one is one and this one is another. So I will label this one on the top, shape A, and I'll label this one on the bottom, shape B. So for shape A, I want to find my length, width, and height. Okay, so again, volume equals length times width times height. Okay, so my length, it has that really nice and big across the top, so my length here is 20 feet. So I'm going to write my 20 in, times my width, which is this little part here, and that is 3 feet, so 20 times 3, and then my height, which my height of this box here is 5. Okay, so it looks like this here. So we have 20 times 3 times 5. Let's figure that out. On this one here, well, we know 2 times 3 is 6, and we add that 0 there. So 20 times 3 is 60, and then we bring down that times 5. Again, we know that 6 times 5 is 30. And then we add that 0 that we use in our problem at the back end of that to make it 300. So we know the volume of shape A is 300. Now we need to figure out what is the volume of shape B. So shape B, again, I do want to find my length, width, and height for this one. So my length of this would be my 10 going across. So we'll plug that in, 10. My width is usually our diagonal line, our front to back, so times 3. And then our height here is 7. Once we plug that in, now we can solve 10 times 3 is 30. Bring down our times 7. 30 times 7, or what is 3 times 7, really, is 21. We want to add that 0 behind it to make it 210. So for this shape here, for this composite figure, or this solid, we have our volume for each of those rectangular prisms. But to find the volume for everything, again, what we want to do is we want to add everything together, the two volumes together. So we have 300 plus 210, and that gives us 510. So our total volume for this entire shape here is 510 cubic feet. I hope this helps. This is what we will be covering for the rest of this week. If you have any questions, please reach out at any time. Thank you. Have a great evening.